Okay guys, so welcome back. So in today's video we're actually going to do a really small guide on how to counter weapons. Alright, I know that currently like the meta seems like it's a weapon meta, because like everyone uses weapons, especially like when you fight in higher skill lobbies. You're going to realize that when you're fighting someone, they usually have like a chair or a stop sign or a plank or a launcher. It really gets annoying because like if you don't know how to deal with it, like you're basically free. All right, so in this video I'm going to try and give you 9 tips, all right, to counter weapons. All right, most of our examples are going to be with a launcher, because a launcher is the most overpowered item in the game. It beats everything. It beats DPs, meaning the uppercut. It beats drop kicks. It beats supers. It beats everything. All right. And even though the game says that weapon is the third highest on the priority list, um, this is definitely the highest thing. They need to put one more tier here and put fold-in shear above super. All right, because fold-in shear beats everything. All right. So most of our examples are going to be with fold-in shear, but I'm going to explain to you like the tips that I give. What they're mostly for every other weapon, really. But I'll actually explain like if it's good for fold-in shear or not. All right. Okay, so we pretty much know that most of the tips are going to be for most or almost every other weapon in the game, but let's talk about things that you shouldn't do. All right, because what you're going to realize is that people, when you're fighting people, they mostly are going to be using fold-in shears. All right, and they can be using one, or they might have 2 or 3 on them. All right, depending on who you're fighting. So fold-in shear, basically the idea is to spam this. All right, this is extremely dangerous because the mindset behind this is they want to get a wall splat. If you're near a wall, this wall splats is really crazy. If they hit you with it, they can also do a follow-up elbow. And if they don't get the wall, this hits for probably like 50% of your stamina. And they basically are looking to get a stamina break, and a stamina break would lead into a full combo. All right, so what you shouldn't do specifically when fighting against a fold-in shear is you shouldn't be like dodging all the time. All right, if you dodge all the time, you're just going to make it easier for them, because when they do this, it has, I wouldn't say it's armor, but it's invincible. All right, you can't hit them with this. When they're doing this, you can't do anything. It's invincible. All right, so you shouldn't be challenging it. What I would recommend is it's either you take the hit. Sometimes, hopefully, you're on a stamina drink that will save you. Maybe it's easier to take the hit because it's not easy to run away from it. All right, but if you are able to like get away from it, you probably should. If you can dodge and you have skyrocket and you launch in the air, that's also a good option. And then you can think about a way to disarm them. All right, so that's the #1 rule. If they're spamming that, do not dodge all the time, because if they read your dodge and they hit you with it, you're going to break your stamina faster. All right. Okay, so the first tip when you're disarming an opponent, all right, is to just use a basic dodge. You can use a regular backdash and then go into your light string. All right, this is pretty much the easiest way to do it. Especially like if you use a back dodge, they're going to be like really close to you. So if you do it fast enough, you can definitely disarm them. All right, because most weapons have recovery on them. All right, some weapons you can like dodge cancel, like the bat, and some weapons you can block like immediately after. All right, but like I said, it depends on how close they are to you. If you do a backdash and they're really close, you can go into a light string, or you can do a side dodge, and then while they're attacking, because some of the weapons attack and they advance forward, you can definitely like do a regular string, and then you will knock the weapon out of their hands. All right, what I wouldn't recommend is you can't do a backdash against a fold-in shear. All right, because the fold-in shear is a forward advancing move, and your backdash is going to recover in time for them to continue hit you. All right, if you dodge to the side, you pretty much won't have a lot of time to attack them. And sometimes even if you hit them and they still, you know, do the input, they will get priority. All right, and you want to avoid that. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. Our next example is simply to do a dodge and then do a drop kick. All right, now this is a pretty weird one. All right, now the first rule is that you can't do this against a folding chair. Don't ever try this against a folding chair. All right, drop kicks lose against a folding chair, so don't try it. But against every other weapon, if you do a dodge and they're like a little you have a gap between you, like they are a little bit further away. All right, because if they're really close, it's really tight to do a drop kick, because to do the run immediately or the instant run, they will have time to attack you with the weapon again. So what you need to do is, if there's a lot of distance between you guys, you need to like run up and do a drop kick. All right, the only thing is that the drop kick is very unsafe, and the only option they have is to block it. If they block it, you're going to get hit by the weapon 100%. All right, you can't change that. If they have a plank, you're going to get hit for an extreme amount of damage. All right, so that is an option, and it all comes down to reads. If you know that they're spamming and they aren't going to block, you can go for a drop kick, and a drop kick will disarm them. All right, so here's an example with that. Alright, so our third tip is going to be using your ghost dodge. Alright, that's pretty much what everyone calls it, because all you do is you jump over their heads and you do a dodge. Alright, it's really good because when someone jump above you, it's hard to see them. Alright, when you ghost dodge, that's what they call ghost dodging, because they jump above your head and they do a turn and then you pretty much disappear. They can't see you. People who understand it know that they're supposed to dodge immediately. Alright, with weapons, they can pretty much just spam the weapon and you will get hit. All right, but if they're the type who might get confused, they might block, you can do a ghost dodge into a vicious attack and grab them coming down out of the air. All right, this is also a read, and it depends on how close you are to them. So if you time it correctly and they decide to like, oh shit, I don't know where it went, I'm going to block, you're pretty much going to grab them for free. All right, so that's another option, but it's highly risky. There's a lot of recovery on whichever vicious attack you use, so you should definitely be careful with this one. All right, I wouldn't recommend using this against a folding chair because you're going to get destroyed. So here's an example of that. Okay, so our next tip is going to be doing a ghost dodge into your elbow drop. All right, it's also an unsafe play because if they read it, you are going to get destroyed, especially if they have a plank or something. All right, but like I said, it is an option and you should consider it because these are all basically reads. All right, you're reading your opponent and you have to try something. All right, it's either you're going to try something if you want to engage them with their weapon, or you're just going to leave. All right, but I want to give you as much options as possible so you can definitely like think about what your plan of action is going to be and what is the best plan to execute at the moment. All right, so if they do a forward advancing move with a weapon, you jump, you do a ghost dodge, and then you do an elbow drop. All right, if this is timed correctly, they might be in the recovery, the small recovery window of the weapon, and then you will be able to hit them and disarm them. All right, it is an option, it works. People use it against me sometimes and it works. And like I said, it really just comes down to like how well you place this, all right, on their attack, and then you just do your elbow drop, they drop the weapon, you pick it up, you pocket the weapon, or use it against them. So this is an example of what it looks like. Okay, so the next tip is going to be, if you see your opponent pull a weapon, all right, what you should do is also pull a weapon. Now what this does is it allows them to either like say hello, right, they don't want to fight, or it's going to come down to who makes the better play with the weapon. All right, so first of all, the chair is the only thing that clashes with the chair in the game. All right, they basically pass through each other, and people tend to not do that. All right, it would give you a chance to disengage, but what people does is if they see you pull a chair as well, they're going to throw theirs. All right, if you block it, you can just pick up their chair, and that's basically you winning the engagement. All right, if not, you throw yours and it will disarm them if they don't block it, because you have to block an item when it's thrown at you. Or if they have something like a plank, all right, you can probably use a bat. All right, if you use a bat, the bat has 4 hits on it before it breaks. A plank only has 2, so their weapon is going to get destroyed. You're going to have your weapon still. You can use a green bat, or the plastic bat has 2 hits as well. It's going to destroy both of your weapons. If they have a steel bat, it has 4 hits. So you need to understand that if you use another weapon, probably you should use a folding chair. Folding chair basically like disarms everything a person has. All right, so it's always good to have at least one in your pocket. But that's basically the idea behind using weapons. I'll be probably doing a weapon guide eventually and talk about all of the weapons and all of their everything that's regarding weapons. All right. All right, so our next tip is going to be using a ghost dodge into a charge vicious. All right, now everyone knows this move. All right, this is the charge vicious, and it does like a ground pound shockwave. All right, and this is probably one of the most useless moves in the game until it comes down to this point. All right, because it's really good at like disarming opponents. All right, so if they push you, and this is also good against folding chairs as well, folding chairs and planks. So if they push you, right, all you need to do is jump, do a dodge, charge in the air, and then do your ground pound. All right, they have to do a recovery. Folding chairs, like I said, it really comes down to how well you do it, because if you do it in the air, you get the full charge, and then you do it, it will definitely like disarm them, and then you can take up their weapon. All right, so here's an example of what that looks like. The next tip is going to be for everyone who loves the DP. All right, so if you're running an uppercut strike, all right, uppercut is a power priority. It's a lot better than the drop kick when it comes out in regards to weapons, right? Because if you miss your drop kick, you're basically going to get punished for it. Or if you do your drop kick, if they read it and you block, all right, and if they read it and they block it, then you're going to get a full combo for that. All right, so the thing with the uppercut now is that because people know that it's unsafe, the thing with most people is that they don't expect you to have it. All right, because using an uppercut in the game is a little bit more risky, and people who use the uppercut are really confident with it because they usually do uppercut into supers or something like that if it's blocked, or they might have a plan of action, or they just love the 50-50 like risk reward behind it. All right, so if you have an uppercut, people probably don't know you have it, and you shouldn't let them know you have it until you get attacked with the weapon. All right, so pretty much it beats every other weapon in the game. Once they attack you and you do your uppercut, it will work. But if they have a folding chair, it does not work. All right, if they do the forward advancing spear like invincible move, it's going to be the uppercut. All right, but like I said, if you dodge and like they hesitate to do it again and you do your uppercut, you will be able to disarm them. But apart from that, you're probably just going to get destroyed. All right, so that's just another example. That's just another tip. So here's an example. Okay, so our final tip is going to be using your superstar. All right, now the benefit about using your superstar, especially against folding chairs, is that superstar recharges your stamina really quickly. All right, so even if they use their chairs, as long as they don't get a wall splat, they won't be able to stamina break you. All right, so all you need to do is wait until they do their attack coming towards you. You pop your superstar, and you can go for the cheesy like grab. But the thing is, it does not work. All right, because folding chairs beats superstar. All right, you can try it, but like I said, the only good thing about popping your superstar is that you won't get stamina broken, and that's a good thing. That's a win in my opinion. And as long as they don't get a wall splat, even if they get a wall splat and a combo, you should also be fine, because you constantly get health regeneration with your superstar. So it's a good counterplay against weapons, but it's a waste of superstar, because your superstar, it's so, you get so much more value for having it. But like I said, if it's just a point where you're desperate and you're panicked and you don't want to die or something, then you should probably use your superstar. All right, guys. So that's basically all the tips I have on how to counter a weapon, guys. If you have any tips, or if I missed anything, you can leave us a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, or if you learned anything, you can give us a like, subscribe for more, and have a great day.